Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ plus story for today. I'm Faye What, and let's queer up business. Apple removes queer cruising Sniffies app over content rules. A popular queer cruising platform has hit a major speed bump in the App Store. Sniffies, the real-time location-based cruising app known for its explicit content and interactive map, has been temporarily removed from Apple's App Store. The removal comes just 2 months after the app launched its iOS version on March 3rd. In a statement to Out, Sniffies explained, quote, "Due to ongoing content restrictions, the app has been temporarily removed from the App Store. For users who already have the app installed, it will continue to function normally. Our core web app remains fully operational and continues to offer the unfiltered, Sniffies experience. We're committed to providing the best experience possible for our community and will share updates as we explore next steps," end quote. Sniffies, which began as a browser-only experience in 2018, allows users to connect through a live map that highlights other users and known cruising locations nearby. Unlike apps like Grindr and Scruff, which use a photo grid with content limits, Sniffies offers a more uncensored experience. To comply with Apple's guidelines, the team introduced a safer work mode that blurs explicit images and text unless toggled off through a browser login. Still, it wasn't enough to meet Apple's standards. Eli Martin, Sniffies' chief marketing officer, told Out, quote, "We had to figure out how to make it work without watering it down," end quote. Martin also emphasized the importance for visibility. For now, users who already have the app can continue using it. For everyone else, the website's still open and still unfiltered. Sniffies has had a couple hiccups, through its time, which unfortunately they still have not met the standards that Apple wants, right? My friend was extorted on there a couple of weeks ago, right? So the map, the map and all that is not really down. It's not really down pat. It's not working where people can still go in and use their own methods to say that they're in the same vicinity as you, but they're not, right? So one of the many, but I mean, you boys have so many other apps to use, okay? If you don't want to use Sniffies, you still have Grindr, Scruff, Surge, OkCupid, Growler, Hornet, Blued, Wapple, Adam for Adam, Hetero, which is one of my favorite, his Head-aro, right? Tammy and Patty and Daddy Hunt, which are always really easy to find the daddy of your dreams. So if Sniffies is not working for you, or you don't want to use it on the webpage, use one of your other backup apps for now, boys. You'll be okay. Kids?
Well, I will say the most interesting thing about this story to me is the issue of explicit content. Why Sniffies is falling under this review at Apple and other things may not. The blur, which is what I have read extensively about, is definitions of pornography. And Apple does not want to participate in any kind of pornographic experience, however you designate that. They don't want to be in a situation like you would see at X, at Twitter. Gay Twitter is what we're talking about, and they don't want to do that. And they're making a blurred connection that because there would be nudity, it would be like pornography. And they are different definitions. So I think Sniffies is going to eventually get this worked out, and they must, because at the end of the day, they want to be on the Apple platform. Because
right.
That's how it's going to be a revenue, significant revenue platform for them. But Sniffies is not pornography. Nudity in and of itself, adult language, is not pornographic.
You're saying it's art?
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but at the end of the day, it's not intended. The interaction of one consenting adult with another consenting adult in communication, even in nude images or pictures or whatever might go on, is, in my view, not pornographic. It's not prepared for consumption in the way that Falcon Films or Men.com prepare content. So they're kind of blurring lines that I don't think that they want to blur.
And I'm not a customer, so I really don't have a dog in this fight. But I do know that prudery is actually a weapon of oppression. It's a way to control, it's a way to silence, it's a way to shame. Yeah. And so I don't care if it is porn. You should be able to have, as long as everyone's of legal age and it's all consensual. And I don't care if it is porn. It probably isn't. But anytime, especially under certain administrations, where the people enforcing prudery may themselves be giving handy J's in a theater, or giving hush money to an adult sex worker or a film star, it's about oppression. It's about silencing people. It's about shaming people. It's about marginalizing people. So the minute, I don't even know the story that well, but the minute I heard that it's about what it is, I immediately go into defense mode because we've seen this story too many times.
If I can add, and that's a really great observation. The one good thing about this story is even if you completely accept your observation, it's not an anti-gay story, which it could have been. Apple is not discriminating against the gay community in this decision making. So even the prudery standard that you have just established, it's not aimed at gay. It's aimed at the explicit material. And we can agree with what you just said. Fortunately, it's not an issue that it's aimed at us. They're not trying to manage or control us. They're trying to manage and control the overall image. So whether it was women involved or trans involved or men involved, I think Apple would come to the same conclusion. That might be prudery,
but yeah. Cal?
Well, as a geriatric millennial, and it kills me to say that, it's not one of the apps that I use. I have friends that have the apps. I'm familiar with it, but I haven't been familiar with how it works. But like Faye says, we have 1,000,001 apps, so there's, no shortage of apps. And it's I didn't even know they had like a desktop, like online version of it. Like it reminds me.
You're a millennial.
Yeah. It reminds me of like Adam for Adam back in the day, before we had apps and we had to log on.
Just proved geriatric.
Yeah, see, I told you, I wasn't lying.
I remember personal ads in a paper.
Yeah.
But
the back of Hotspots.
That's the thing.
Is that how Hotspots
was it Craigslist boys and men looking for men? What was that?
That's Craigslist.
It's just very interesting, and I agree with with Al said. I don't think it's something that's against the gay community. I think it's just their community standards.
They have standards and practices that they want to follow.
If the app wants to exist, on the Apple platform, then they kind of have to make changes and regulations to that.
Just be a little bit dirty, but not water it down. Right?
Yeah.
All right, we'll see. That is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.